Hey, today we're going to be doing a quick video on the basic essentials of doing a short day hike in the mountains, and we're going to be going in late September up in high altitude for this hike. So I'm just going to be covering the basic gear that you should take on a hike like that. First though, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Foster Gulch. If you want to hear more videos with tips and info and interesting facts about the outdoors. But let's get into it. This is for a day hike up in high altitude in late September in the Rockies. So you definitely want to have some warm gear and some emergency gear in case bad weather comes up. So let's start with the feet. So you want to definitely have good hiking boots, and make sure you pick off all the seeds and clean them off, because a lot of people bring in invasive species of plants on their boots. So please clean your boots before you go hiking. Next is the pack. This is a good pack for backpacking. It's got all sorts of compartments, and it can fit quite a bit, but we don't need that much space today. However, this pack will be more comfortable than a smaller one because it has the hip support, and it will put most of the weight on your hips rather than on your back. Okay, so you also want to have some warm weather coats, and there's two of them here because I'll be hiking with someone. Always make sure your partner has the proper gear. Pack it for them if they don't. Otherwise, you're going to be using your gear in case of an emergency, and you don't want that. So just suck it up and pack some gear for them too. Okay, you also want to have rain gear right down here. And you want to have good rain gear that's been tested, because if it gets wet out there, you can easily get hypothermia if you're not prepared for that. So stay dry out there. You also want to have some bear spray. If you go up in high altitude like we're going to be going tomorrow, there's probably not going to be bears, but they can be found up there. So I would always pack it. It's really rare that you have an encounter with a bear. It's even more rare that it's dangerous, but just have it in case it does happen to you, because you never know. This is an SOS tracking button. Highly recommend this in case someone falls or has a health complication. It's hard on people's cardiovascular systems up in high altitude. People do have heart attacks up there, strokes, things like that. So I would always have an SOS tracker with you. Here we have an emergency blanket. Should always have an emergency blanket with you whenever you're in the wild, no matter where you're at. Map. You want to have some sort of a map. It doesn't need to be the top tier map. Check out my video on different types of maps if you're not too familiar with them. Just have something, even if it's a short hike, always have a map with you. You know, it is a must. You want a hat and neck warmer. The neck warmer, a lot of people don't carry, but trust me, you'll be a lot more comfortable if you have that. You want to have a vest and some extra gear, because you want to dress in layers when you're up there. That way you can take it off when the sun comes out, put layers on when the sun goes away, and when snow or wind comes up, you want to have that windbreaker, which for me is going to be the raincoat, and then in there is the down jacket. So that's about it. Those are the basic essentials. One thing I will recommend, it is optional, that's why I'm telling you about it as an extra. One last thing I may recommend for you if you're into filming or photography is a lightweight telescope lens. This is for a phone right here, and I know seems kind of like a cheap thing, but they do work. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but they really do work. They just clip onto your phone like that. And if you have a tripod, you need a tripod if you're going to use one of these, otherwise it'll be shaking all around. But they're pretty cool. I would recommend it for people into photography. I'll put a link to that video in the description below if you want to check that out. One last thing is I would recommend bringing a lighter or matches with you, just in case, you know, maybe a knife too. You want to have a few survival items, but you don't want to pack too heavy. Just pack light, just pack what you need. Should be okay. Know where you're going, know your directions, and know your landmarks, and you should be all right. But that's it for today. Please subscribe to Foster Gulch Wildlife and Outdoors if you like this video. Check out my other videos on bear safety, hiking maps, and more to come after that if you want to learn more of the basics of going into the outdoors. But thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.